Foreign nationals who had sought refuge at a Durban police station are currently marching through the metro. They're calling on authorities to intervene and give them protection this afternoon. The group says they've been forced out of their communities amid rising tension as well as intimidation and attacks allegedly by locals. Many say they've fled their homes fearing for their safety and have been seeking shelter at a local police station. They say they are legal refugees who came to South Africa escaping conflict, instability and economic hardship in their home countries. The demonstrators this afternoon are appealing for, as I was saying, temporary shelter as well as protection and urgent assistance. They say they're worried once again about their safety and the situation in the communities where they live around Durban. Let's take you then to Durban, bring in SABC News Jade Polzer. Jade, those marchers, those foreign nationals now on the move through Durban, where exactly are they going now?
Well, a very good afternoon to you, Thembekile, and to the viewers back at home. And yes, we are now marching on Anton Lambedi here in the Durban CBD. The march started at the Durban police station, where we are told that the foreign nationals were asked by police to move back to their respective communities. But upon that request, there seems to have been a scuffle where police opened up rubber bullets and a scuffle ensued between the two, where there were clashes. We earlier on spoke to one of the leaders of this particular group, who had said that they come peacefully, Thembekile. They don't want to fight with law enforcement. In fact, they want law enforcement to assist them, really pleading there that many of them have been victimized, allegedly assaulted in their respective communities, some of them saying that they reside in townships, in peri-urban areas, and really just staged that sit-in at the Durban police station, calling on law enforcement to assist them with opening up cases against those perpetrators who they say allegedly assaulted them. But this group was then turned away from that police station. As you can see, quite a large contingent of police escorting them through Anton Lambedi all the way to a Durban Point, which we know has a lot of foreign nationals here in the Durban CBD. And many are calling for government to also assist them. They are saying, Thembekile, that the conflict rather and the tension in their communities are emanating from recent protests, anti-foreign protests, and they're saying that they no longer feel safe in the communities where they reside. They no longer feel safe with their children. In fact, just this morning when I was speaking to a lady, she was 9 months pregnant, and she said that she too was turned away from a local hospital, alleging that she was discriminated, and said that she had to sleep on the pavement overnight, and saying that if she goes into labor, Thembekile, she doesn't know what is going to happen. Her husband is in Burundi. She is here trying to make a living for herself and her child. She is an asylum seeker, and however, she doesn't know what's going to become of her and her unborn child. So many of the stories emanating from people that we spoke to, really pleading to South African government to intervene, to stop the war on foreign nationals, calling for law enforcement also to go into these communities where they say they are allegedly being attacked, assaulted, discriminated and the like, and asking government to intervene with regards to these anti-foreign marches, Thembekile.
And do we know then, Jade, if these are people who say they've fled insecurity in their communities in Durban, if they will get the protection that they want, and if so, when that protection will be given to them in order for them to go back to their homes in Durban?
Yes, Thembekile, we spoke to police spokesperson here in KZN, Colonel Robert Nechunda, who said that he will look into the investigations with regards to the two cases that have been opened up at Durban Police Station, but saying there that this community needs to go back into their communities. These people need to go back into the communities. They can't be stationed outside the police station forever. It's been 2 days now, and law enforcement saying that not only is this dangerous for them, but also by law they cannot be residing on the pavements outside the police station. Many that we spoke to, Thembekile, are asylum seekers. Many have shown papers saying that they are legally in the country. They've stayed here for 10 years. Some of their children were raised here amongst the community, and also saying that, you know, they are a part of South Africa. They want the same benefits that South Africa have. And when I say benefits, I mean respect and protection. And this is what they're not feeling in their community. They're saying that they're pleading for government to intervene and to assist them, and saying that while they understand that there are illegal immigrants in the country, some of them really do have papers, and they are doing their best to also assist with regards to when their brothers and sisters come from other countries, to tell them to go through the legal processes. One lady said to me off camera that she had a cousin that came into South Africa, and she told her cousin to go through the right channels, because right now it's about dotting your I's and crossing your T's, and the situation is volatile now. South Africans are tired. They are taking up the fight with regards to illegal immigrants coming into the country, and she too told her relative to go back home and go through the legal processes. So many of them are also angry with their fellow brothers and sisters, and saying they understand the March and March protests led by Jacinta Ngobese. They understand the frustration that some South Africans have, but they also want a fair chance in living in the country, especially when they have the documentation to do so.
And Jade, that brings me to my next point, right? Because this is but the latest, shall we say, demonstration or march linked to this tension that we're seeing, particularly in Durban, between locals and foreign nationals. How tense is the atmosphere, and what is driving the surge over the last few months in this tension?
I think what is exacerbating the issue is the resources that South Africans feel they are not getting. We're talking about the health sector here. South Africans are saying that they can no longer go into a clinic and be serviced first. They first have to wait for foreign nationals to do so. And they are bemoaning the fact that South Africans should be placed first. And this is where the tensions and the animosity has come emanating from the ground, including the Addington issue. You would know, if you've been following the story, that it also exacerbated the issue where placement was the issue at that particular school here in Durban, where they were saying that half of the population of the learners at that school was foreign nationals, which South Africans feel was unfair. So this literally just opened up a can of worms with regards to foreign national versus South Africans and the services that are rendered to both foreigners as well as South African citizens. And that's where March and March came on board to basically say that, hold on, South Africans should be placed first. And the irony is that when I spoke to one of the pregnant ladies, like I alluded to earlier on, who was 9 months pregnant, she said that she was in fact turned away from a local clinic and was discriminated against. Excuse me, Thembekile, we're just trying to cross the road. And she was saying that this is not the case, that foreigners are not placed before South Africans. In fact, it doesn't work like that. But this is where it emanated from. It's just the services rendered to South African citizens versus the services rendered to foreign nationals. But this group says they come in peace. They don't want to fight with law enforcement. They don't want to fight with South Africans. They say that we've come a very long way with many countries, as well as South Africans, fighting for South Africans to have democracy, and saying there that this is not about South Africans versus foreign nationals, but this is about getting to the root of the issue. And the root of the issue is illegal immigrants without papers in the country, and not necessarily all foreign nationals in South Africa.
Jade, Paul Salafres on the streets of Durban on the march, tracking a group of foreign nationals who say they've in essence fled their communities around Durban after threats and intimidation. They claim that they are in the country lawfully in terms of what is available, the options available for foreign nationals to come to this country. We'll touch base with Jade and the team in Durban throughout the afternoon.